We have, as I said at the beginning of my superintendent's report, we have some procedural problems that we have to solve. We will not continue this way, and we will not put children in the Acceleration Academy or keep them in the Acceleration Academy if there is not a signed permission form. That's all I can give you today. I can't give you any more than that, other than to say, going forward, we will not continue that practice. Again, I would say we should not throw out the baby with the bathwater.
My name is Tyler Eric Allen Kennard. I go to West High School. I was put in acceleration because they said I missed too many days last year, but I have enough credits to move on to the next grade, so I don't know why I'm in acceleration or anything, so that's it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But
what school did you come from?
Oh, I came from Starling.
Starling.
Yeah. At the beginning of this year, I was put in acceleration. This is my first year of acceleration.
Were your parents ever advised that you were going to be put in acceleration?
They didn't know nothing about it because at the first day of school, I came up here and that they told me to go home. So they didn't know nothing about it until I went home and told them.
There was no testing or counseling or conferences or anything. You just came to school, found out that you were in the acceleration program, and then they did what?
And then the Miss Selinsky, she told me I was in acceleration and I need to go home until 1:45. So that's what I did.
How did your mother handle that?
She didn't like it too much, but like that she found out why I was in acceleration, and they said that I missed too many days.
When you came to the acceleration program, were there any other people that came with you, you know, when you came back that night that you knew?
A couple of kids from last year.
A couple, you knew them from last year from being in day school?
From freshman year, yeah, from being in day school.
And did they got transferred to the acceleration program?
Yeah, they was put in acceleration also.
What were their names?
Mark Williams, Trey Galloway, Marquisa Bosick, Shalyn Smith, Marshawn Burton. That's them the only ones I associate with.
What kind of studies are you studying?
That they gave me a math class and a social studies class.
So you're taking 2 classes in the acceleration program,
Yep.
but you can't take your classes during the day program.
No.
You can't do any extracurricular activities.
I can't play basketball for the school, football, nothing.
Do you want to stay in the acceleration program?
Really, I don't like it because I don't like that the hours that I go to school, that the teachers, we like get treated different from the kids that's in day school, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We have fewer bathroom times, we have, like that we can't have pop or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? We can't do nothing. We just go to school, come home. Like our lunches is that the leftovers from what the kids in day school have. We get like cold lunches, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. And you think you've been unfairly put in this program?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
My name is Trey Galloway. I was put in the acceleration program this year for missing too many days of school last year. My freshman year was at Briggs High School, and now I'm attending West. I feel that the acceleration really ain't helping me because I get more credits going to day school than I get in acceleration. We get 2.5 in acceleration, and we get 3 in day school. And we can't attend basketball or no kind of activities or nothing. So it really ain't benefiting us none. We get the leftovers at lunchtime. It don't help. It don't help.
You say you were at Briggs High School last year, and you got put in the acceleration program when you came to this school? Was there any kind of review or testing or counseling, or were your parents notified, or how'd you end up being in the acceleration?
I went to school, and then like the teacher told me that I didn't have a schedule for the class, and I had to attend acceleration. That's how they let us know.
And that was at the first start of school this year?
Right.
So you've been in the acceleration program since the start of the year?
Yeah.
Have you found any benefits of being in the program?
Not really, no.
Okay. Do you think you're being unfairly placed in the program? Would you like to leave the program and go into the regular day program?
Yep. I'd rather just repeat the grade than do it like that because I get more credits.
And what's your name again?
Trey Galloway,
And what grade are you in now?
10th.
And you were in the 9th grade when you started?
Yep. I'm accelerating to the 10th.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Well, how you doing, sister?
Fine.
All right, you have to tell me your story about why you don't like this program.
Okay, I don't like acceleration because we only take 3 classes and I need to take science. We don't take science and acceleration. And I need to take foreign languages. We don't take those either. That's it.
All right. And how long have you been in there now?
Since last year.
Since last year. So you went through last year and then you came back through again this year?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get the credits that you were supposed to get?
I got 1.5 credits.
1.5 instead of how many?
They told me that if I came to acceleration, come to acceleration, then I wasn't going to flunk, and I would have enough credits to go to the 10th grade.
But did that happen?
No, I only got 1.5 credits.
All right, sister, thank you so much. What'd you say your name was?
Marquisa, Boston.
All right, thank you.
This is Dr. Bob Petragus, your host on Fight Back, coming to you live from the studios at the new 1580 WVKO in Columbus every Saturday from 10 to 11. A lot of things happening out there in the community. Today, I've got James A. Whitaker and B. Kennedy Kent with Parent Advocates for Students in School, PASS. That's Parent Advocates for Students in School, and they've raised some of the critical questions of the way students are supposedly helped in the Columbus public schools. We also have with us in the studio, said Arnell Lee, who's a mother of a student who was helped at the Acceleration Academy, and her son, Tyler, who was in September 2001. You not her son?
Yeah.
Okay, her son, Tyler. All right, so Tyler's in here. He was placed in an accelerated academy. With this in mind, let's pass. Why was it formed?
Okay, Parent Advocates of Students in School was formed out of a necessity. In fact, I'm glad that Tyler and his mother are here today. They're very important to this equation because Tyler is actually one of the students we tried to get out of the acceleration program in 2001, which was his second year. He was placed in it. His mother did not want him in it. We wrote continuous letters for her and a couple of other students and couldn't get them out. So it made me wonder why. Why can't a parent get their child out of a program that they don't want them in that starts at 1:45 in the evening and goes to 5:45 at night?
One more time with those. It goes from when to when?
1:45 in the afternoon to 5:45 at night, when they used to go from 7:30 like the normal time.
Okay, so this does not seem, this is the Accelerated Academy. You're going to school in the afternoon and up to the early evening. That's interesting. What you suggest in reading through your documentation is that you feel the system is inherently flawed, that there's inherent problems with this program in terms of how people are selected, and apparently that it doesn't work.
Correct, correct.
Okay, did I get that? I got that down, okay. Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Matter of fact, as we stated to you before, we did do the data on it, and we collected all the names of the students that had been acceleration for the last 3 years, and then we asked...
That sounds like such a good term. Like they put a good, this is like when the large corporations talk about being for good government. This is the Accelerated Academy.
Correct.
It's like, it sounds like something you'd want your kid in, right?
And that is exactly how Miss Lee looked at it at first, because they forced him in. She said, and they convinced her that, well, this will accelerate Tyler. He'll do well, and he'll pass the next grade very easily. However, why couldn't Tyler do that in the regular education environment? Why did he have to leave his opportunity to play football, to be in choir, to socialize with his other peers? Why did he have to come in a certain door in the back? Why couldn't he eat the same hot and cold lunches anymore that he was eligible for?
You can't play sports if you're in the Accelerated Academy?
No, you cannot play sports, you cannot see other children, you were isolated.
Why do I think that the best athletes aren't going to ever be accelerated despite their performance?
Correct.
And it's
As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that the first student, we had one of the first students that was placed in acceleration at the board meeting in 2000. And that is one of the things that she said to the board and the superintendent. They would not let me out, however, they let an athlete out.
All right. Of major concern has been the allegation that students were arbitrarily selected and some without parental consent. In your case, you actually gave permission?
No, I did not.
Okay.
My son was placed in there 2001. He went to school 7 that morning and came home. I came home from work and asked him why wasn't he in school. When I got there, he told me, well, I have to go back this afternoon. I said, what are you talking about this afternoon? He said, my class doesn't start till 1:45. So I put him in the car, went up there, and I was told that he was placed in an acceleration program. They never told me why, but they told me he was placed in there and his class hours started at 1:45 to 5:45. And at first I'm thinking acceleration. Okay, he's excelling, he's doing wonderful. You know, come to find out, he did not fit the criteria to be in the acceleration program because he was only 15 years old. He did not flunk any part, well, he passed 2 parts of the proficiency test. He just didn't qualify to be in that program. So when he wasn't truant either. And so when I asked for him to be taken out of the program, they told me I couldn't take him out. And I'm like, I'm his parent. If I don't want him in there, he should be able to come out because I want him out of there. They did
So
not-
now, was this the accelerated program or was this like jail? This sounds
To me,
more like
to me-
juvenile. They don't let you out.
To me, it was like that, but they did not take him out the program, and so I spoke with Ms. Kent, and I also spoke with the lady that was over the program, and they kept telling me, well, we can't take it out, we can't take him out, we can't take him out. So when I spoke with Ms. Kent, you know, I wrote letters, I went up to the school, I called, I missed several days of work in order to do all of this. And come to find out, they were walking home because they did not have bus passes, and he knew nothing about catching the Coda bus because wherever he went, we always took him. So we're not from Columbus, so it made it even harder. He walked home. Several kids that he knew walked together. When I found out they were walking, I would put as many as I could fit in my car and take them home. You know, then we get home, we're trying to eat dinner 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm trying to get ready, you know, to go to a second job, then getting up in the morning to go back to the first job, and I ended up having to leave one job in order to accommodate his schedule because they messed up our lives.
Now, on Fight Back, we tend to be quite frank. One of the questions is there's a natural tendency, it seems to, whenever there's something special, to accelerate. We're more minority and poor kids and accelerated, or would these look like mainstream children? Who was picked for acceleration?
Actually, when you look at the acceleration, it was put in 6 schools. 3 of the schools were pretty much 99% African
So
American.
predominantly African
Predominantly
American.
African American, and the other schools were predominantly poor. You know, I mean, all
So
of them
you put
together
it in
were
the
phenomenal.
poor and in the minority schools, which is a reoccurring
Theme.
pattern. Yeah. So, Tyler, how did you end up in this program? I mean, what was it like? I mean, did they come and get you out of class? Did they give you a choice? Did they explain it to you? How did that work?
My first day of school, I went to school at 7 that morning, and I was sent home. So,
I mean, sent home? I mean, so you go to school and they send you home. It's,
They send me home.
So you're not truant, you're showing up for school, and they tell you to go home.
they told me to go home.
You have to hear how he was sent home. Tyler, you went into the office.
I went into the office that morning, and I was trying to find where was my class. I was looking for a schedule, and an old teacher of mine from the year before, she told me But she pulled me to the side and she was like, well, Tyler, you're not supposed to be here till 1:45. So I'm like, well, why do I have to go home? You know, she was like, well, you're not in regular day school anymore. So.
So you didn't know till you arrived at school in the fall that
yes.
you were in this accelerated academy?
Yes, so I asked her, can I use the telephone to call my mom so I can get a ride home? And she was like, well, you have to leave the building because if you're not, well, that's if you're in acceleration, that you're trespassing if you're on the school grounds.
So they didn't let you use the phone.
No, I had to walk.
You didn't know you were in this program, and they told you that you'd be trespassing
If I was
because you showed up to go to school.
Yes.
All right, Columbus Public Schools at its finest. And we've talked about this before, so you ended up, what happened then?
I ended up in the program for a half a year school.
And you dropped out, you went back to regular school?
After the acceleration, I attended homeschool.
Okay.
Because I was so far behind, I couldn't even.
Well,
that's part of the acceleration, accelerating you backwards.
Yes.
Right. Actually, what I wanted to say as far as Tyler, I was over the Freshman Success Academy when they brought this program in. And so I had Tyler when he first came in 2000.
Did you work for the schools?
I worked at West High School at the time the program came in. So it was one of the schools that they were planning to put it in. At the time that they were planning to put the program in, when I heard about it, it was for 16 years and older. So I was very shocked when they came to me, the Freshman Success Academy, and I find out that they're putting our freshmen who just came to high school in the middle of their freshman year, just throwing them in the program. No discussion, no nothing, just these 25 and they'll do. And so,
how did they select them?
I have no idea. Look, and I'm the administrator, I have no idea.
So you were administering this Freshman Success Program and you don't know how they
why they wanted to take them out of the freshman class and put them down in acceleration when we created the Freshman Success Academy to be a safety net for them. The teachers
Right.
only worked a half a day, and then the rest of the day they were supposed to counsel, they were supposed to call parents, they were supposed to meet with parents, and that just didn't happen. Instead, they created this program called Acceleration and said, well, you 25, you come on and you go to school from 1:45 to 5:45.
Odd, very odd hours. I don't know how taking school kids out of their natural socialization would, and I mean, it looks like you're stigmatizing them, right? And to a large extent, people are going to know that this is not a program for the gifted. This is some sort of punishment. Stigma, I mean, it goes against, decades of trends in education, at least since the 70s, where you don't...
1977
That's
exactly
right.
is when they started doing it, because they were doing things like this almost 30 years ago. In fact, it came out of Columbus.
So this is old school. This is retro. This is almost Jim Crow in some ways. This is stigmatizing people. This is putting them in these programs where you're taking them out of you're not mainstreaming them. You're taking them out of the classrooms and putting them with people. Then you're segregating. This is segregation, academic segregation. Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. You're on the new WVKO. Good morning. Right? Jerry, if you're allowing kids to fail like this, there's somebody who's getting something out of this. Who is that, Kennedy?
Well, you have to understand that the program, when it was put in place, was supposed to accelerate students and help them better.
Right. It's like everyone can agree with that. Let's accelerate students.
Correct.
But,
however, you have to understand that they put them in 6 schools. The students didn't have to leave the school. When the school day was over, these particular students were just pretty much on the first floor, so you didn't have to change any buildings. The books were already there. The computers were already there. The only monies that went out for this program were for teacher salaries. That is it. You had to pay no money out for the students whatsoever.
so some teachers made some money off accelerating. Yeah, I just can't see why they couldn't have kept these students in and then required them or gave them the option of doing an hour or 2 extra after school every day if they wanted them to accelerate. Why would you deny them the mainstream traditional educational opportunities? Is 90% an accurate figure? There's a 90%
It's very
failure
much.
rate?
After the first year, 93% of the students are no longer enrolled in Columbus Public Schools. After the second year, looking at statistics, it looks like 87% were gone. Just this semester, this last semester of the school, at West High School, 53 students were supposedly enrolled in that program January 2003. When we went back to the school in May, only 15 students were still in the program.
Now, could it be deliberately designed or inadvertently designed to, in fact, stigmatize students, to force them out to boost the scores or performance? I mean, one way to deal with the problem, right, is not to deal with the problem, is to force people out. What do you think about that as a mother?
I think it's true. I think it's true.
Did the academy help your son accelerate?
No, it did not. Basically, he did get his grades, and he had received good grades being in the program, but the program as a whole destroyed him.
In what way?
He was a very friendly people person, outgoing. He was good at sports. Only problem as far as academics, he had a problem with math. And that was the main
Well, I
problem.
had a problem with math, and I got a PhD and a law degree.
Well, that was the only problem that he had, and he would go to his teacher and, you know, tell her he's having trouble with the math, and it was like basically he needed a tutor maybe, or if they took a little more time, he wouldn't have had a big problem. Other than that, I didn't see a problem. I didn't see where he needed to be placed in the acceleration program at all.
All right, he's 15 years. So, Tyler, what it was like being in acceleration? I mean, how did other people at the school accept you?
Well, I really didn't get to see too many people that went to normal day school. We had to go around to the back of the building to the lunch.
Go around to the back of the... Well, this does sound like Jim Crow. Was this the colored and poor people only entrance? Go to the back of the building.
Yeah, we had to go in through the back lunch doors, which the cooks had exit in and exit out of those doors. It was the kitchen doors. So we exit and go, well, we come in and out of those doors, and sometimes we were given quota bus passes, depending on if the teachers had them or not, or sometimes you have to take your own money, or that's if you didn't have money, you have to walk. And from where I stayed at, it was almost maybe 2 miles away from the school. And
Did they give you, and they didn't give you any bus pickup?
sometimes that they will, depending on if the quota place would drop them off to the school, or that's if they didn't drop
But you didn't get to ride on a school bus at all, and you had to come in the back door. I mean, what happened if you come in the front door? Would they get upset?
We could get warnings, or
They'd warn you?
after the third time or so that they'll send you home for the day.
All right. Well, let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. You're on the new WVKO.
When the program, as
Good.
I said, was put in, I was under the impression that it was for 16 years and older, and I had no idea that they would be giving less credits or that they would be taken out of the regular environment then. However, I was in charge of the Freshman Success Academy, and when we sat down in January and they started picking students to be in acceleration, I just didn't understand it. As a matter of fact, one of the students that I tried to get out for almost a year, they picked her, and I said, I don't understand, why are you picking her? And the one woman looked at me and said, well, she just looks slow. And, well, can we get her tutored? And I gave her name to the tutor, the woman that was supposed to tutor the freshman children. Did not even have any classes to teach. All she had to do was tutor the students. But I had only seen her tutor one.
Were they using test scores? Were they using some objective criteria?
No test scores. What they said was, okay, what students are having problems? Okay, well, which ones aren't getting it in our class? That's basically, to me, how they chose them.
So this was very subjective on some
Very
level and
subjective.
really dependent on, what they just, like a draft? Like who do you want out of your class? They went to the teachers and they got to select who leaves?
Well, the crazy thing is, I had never seen the Acceleration Academy paperwork. James and I did not see that paperwork until a year and a half later, and we begged for it. At first, they did not want to give it to us, and when they gave it to us, then I knew what I knew. Because when I looked at the criteria, I knew that they had just randomly chosen these students. They had no purpose, no reason. The very first sheet of the program, this is what makes no sense. They placed Tyler in the program, supposedly because Tyler failed math. However, it says in the component of the program, the very first page, and I quote, "This Acceleration Academy may provide opportunities for day students to make up lost credit." Now, that is saying that you 25, including Tyler, you go to school from 1:45 to 5:45 because you failed a class or two. However, everybody else in the building, if you fail a class or two, we're going to let you go to day school and you can come to Acceleration and take